izilwane imbuzi into engabhekeki nje ngicabanga ukuthi ngizokuphushela phakathi ezinye izinto ngizongena kule zinto zakhona ukubhekela ngoba sasifunda nanokufunda sasinamabhayibheli akhona sifunda nje yonke into yakhona yonke imithetho yakhona funa njalo ebusuku uhambe uye lokuzini wawusunethabanekele lakho nje i-altar yakhe ngase i-altar yami le lokuzini esithini lo mfana angihlala naye wangakwazi lokho nase-altar yami ngihambe ngiyokhuleka njalo ngo-12 funa ngivuka ngiyokhuleka kodwa ukhuleka bese lesithonga ngosithatha esincane isona ngosebenza ngaso ngoba ngo-3 suke sekubuya khona le mkhathini hhayi kube kanjalo-ke mfethu le ndoda le ngiyibone engihawulisho ukuthi ayinoma i-welcome baba engitshela ukuthi hayi la ekhaya sadodosana-ke ngoba uma isafika siphatha kahle nje ungatshela ukuthi yalo uzamami uqhubeka hayi ngithi nganamnankinga bese kuthiwa-ke uzohambe uyosebenza which mean the following day funa ngihambe ngiyosebenza ukuze lo mnotho wami lo uzobhusteka futhi ungapheli
usebenza umsebenzi wuni
angithi yabona nje mhlawumbe ethi ngenza isibonelo yabona nje lese mhlawumbe wena mfowethu uyangazi enyameni kulula ukungibona uma lese mhlawumbe ufuna ukugcina imoto yakho uma uthi uyangazi umuntu ongikhula noma mhlawumbe uyangazi kulula ukungibona uma ngenza lo msebenzi lo laphana uyisilwane thizeni ubuso babo uyisilwane nje ungayena umuntu ngabe yikade ngoba ngabe yini yabo nje ngoba ama-celebrity lawa khona engiwasho ngamagama amanye nje ngiyakwazi khona nje abafana behlala nabebhaliswa namanje basayibambile and bancane kakhulu basayibambile indlela abaprosper ngayo hhayi kade nabaze bakuncenga baze bayeka sengiphumile kule nto sangazwana nje mind ukuthi bangangibabona ngisho ebusuku ngilele befika nje bethi sinyozwa sizokulanda hayi ngithi mina ngiyakubonisa ngiyenzi loo nto okay sikhuluma indaba yale ukuthi yini umsebenzi angiyenzi okay okokuqala nje ngisafika lana ngangidodoswa because 6 months waphela kule nto and emuva into zami zihamba kahle business imali yangena ofinti right uma into engiphatha kakhulu emoyeni le mali funa ukuthi everyday ngispende uhalf wayo everyday funa ngispende uhalf wayo okay-ke the following day bangithatha bangisa kuphi bangisa kwenye indawo esiqhingi nje okay angiyazi leya ndawo akuyikuphi lapha ngoba ngasafika usungaboni kahle bangisa-ke bangitshela ukuthi indawo nje enhle kwakuthiwa nakho lana ofuna usebenzele khona-ke wena sithathe sonke asibaningi nje ayisaphointa khona umuntu okuthiwa yilokhuzana bathini khohle ligama umuntu umphathi nje wabantu abasuke befika okay obajutha kanjalo ayisajutha kuleyo ndawo leyo ukuthi destroy nje yonke into yakhona leyo ndawo leyo indawo enolwandle nje ngawo leyo ndawo yavela ngisho endabeni indawo enolwandle safike nje olwandle sabhoboza yonke indawo la ngithi yabo leyo ndawo amafektha ngaphansi kolwandle okay salenza nolwandle ukuthi likwazi ukuthi limnyuke destroy yonke okay abantu ngalolanga mfethu badlule emhlabeni kakhulu kufana lesigameni sanda kwenzeka la washona khona abantu abawu-74 bani la umkhumbi khona wazika khona
Lightwing
ngathi ayingani se-Florida okay kodwa Lightwing azi indawo nje engaphesheya okay la khona ngoba into enjalo so kusetshenziswa le days eminjalo wathi uthi hayi no isiphepho lesi no akusona isiphepho lesi yabo uthi hayi no yabo nje egoli kunegesi eyashisa abantu ngekhona last year ngikhumbule lento ngoba ngiyazi ukuthi akuyona igesi yavele yayishela nje into lena eyenzile yiyo la bangena amathunji nomhlaba ngokucupha engisho ukuthi imisebenzi kanjalo-ke besiyenzayo
like le mali wagcina ingene lo 1 million
yes zayingena nje manje like ngathi petrol ayifaka imali
petrol
yes ayifaka
like uthola malini ukugaraji petrol
yabo nje ngenyanga ngangiwenza mhlawumbe ngasho lapho ngangiwenza mhlawumbe 39 million le mali because amagaraji ayi-4 because lento mfethu is very attractive, iyakwazi attract abantu. Futhi ake sibona lapha imall le siyawazi sisibonana. Ngithanda ukuthi siya ngoba ngisekho kodwa uwazi ukuthi umuntu umbone lo ukithi lo mfowethu lo, and futhi niyazwana xa uyana ehamba kahle sho okwasemhlabeni ukhuluma nomuntu ehamba kahle sho niyazana. Even nama-ambulance akhona kule nto ngiyawazi, baningi nje bethu engibaziyo abakhona kule nto yabo. Khona nje intombazane angithanda ukukhuluma ngayo. Le nto kade bayihlelela ela eThekwini. Noma la eThekwini kade bayihlelela le nto le. Yisanda nje iduma nayo. Yathanda umculo othile nje.
Okay.
Umculo waphesheya ngingawusho igama. Yathanda umculo othile nje waphesheya. Kanti vele into yasihleliwe le ukuthi umculo ezela wayezoyijoyinisa yona le society yona yazi. And futhi angiboni ukuthi yazi. And futhi le nto iqala kwenza ukuthi ugwilike nje uma uthola loo ndlela ikwenza ugwilike unganabi ungasetshenzisi, kodwa uzothi uma usunakho okade ukufisa iqale inkathazo bese uyiswa laba nabo bebuza ufuna ukubuyela emuva la usuka khona shopewini seke ubabuke ukuthi kanjani. Manje ukuthi-ke uma le nto isigxile kakhulu emaveni zakho aphumeli kalula ngoba ngisho abanye bayibulala ngithatha intambo uyilengise.
Wena njengoba ubhizi uthola le mali engaka ama-millions and badimanda ukuthi le mali lungapheli usuku qedana ekhaya bathini like
bayakulade khona ngekho kuyichaza ekhaya bethu abazilutho and namanje abazilutho.
This is the new Dell AI PC with Intel inside. A PC so ahead of its
abazi cause into njengavela ngathi ngalo ngithulela ngezinto angaze ngibatshele yabo nje umuntu vele mina ngumfana vele onamahloni okhule nje ehlupheka futhi ehlonipha. So and futhi bangaze ekhaya bazokubuza ukuthi uyithathaphi le nto because ba-street ngale ndlela bazokubuza lezi zinto uyithathaphi. Sefuna manje ngichaze ngoba uma ngaswaqambi laphaya khona la affect yakho. Sefuna manje ngichaze ukuthi le mali lena ngiyithola kanje yabo babengazi kanti manje abazi.
yazi into engifuna ukuyi-understanda kahle ukuthi kule msebenzi leyo sokuthi uyayenza njengokuba lamagaraji kusuke kunamagaraji avele exista
amagaraji avele exista balesithi lapha kunamagaraji vele adayisayo ngoba izinto ey'ningi la emhlabeni labantu ibona abayibonayo. Izinto ey'ningi emhlabeni engamabhizinisi ibona ababonayo. La mangiyibuza amagaraji ndoni amagaraji aqhamukayo yabo. So ufika lapha nje ngaze ngisayinile vele yonke into ngibona la ngama-4 businesses abengisayinile ukuthi amagagos ngayikhethe ethi ngifunani sengisayinile yonke kanti ngezona ney'moto kanjalo.
usufika kanjani-ke la usuphuma khona but before singene kule area la yokuphuma uthi uhlale khona for 6 months kuyi-society le yes mhlawumbe mathi uya-estimate imali oyitholile kuyo kulo 6 months kule society nje isikhathi osihlalile mhlawumbe ungathi malini?
Mfethu ngicabanga ukuthi ngingafika kubhiliyoni bangaphosisi ngafika kubhiliyoni because yabona uba rich kwakho lapha mfowethu akuyona into oyinakayo ngoba imali isuke ingena ukuphuma ngapha. Angikwazi futhi ukuthi ngibale ngithi namhlanje ngenze malini, kodwa khona mase ngile phezulu ngizotshela kusasa ekuseni ebusuku ngithi ngisuke operate ngakusasa ngiswear I have to spend yonke le mali wafowayo yabo. Kumele ukuthi ngithanda ukulala nini futhi nasebusuku ngeke ngilale uma ngithanda, but ubuthongo ngizobuthola obuncane ngilana ngizofuna ngosebenza khona.
Usebenza mawulele?
Yeah, mawalala nje akekho ufuna bese ebusuku mawalala you have to go and work.
Okahle mawulele nje umzimba usulele kodwa usuke ungekho lapho.
Yabo nje awa likhulu baba le nto likhulu awubonele okubalulekile wona ukuthi ufuna ukugcina ngoba lapho futhi uyashawa mawayenza imali ishwaza khona uyashawa kodwa you can't go back.
Umsebenzi le njengoba uyimenshile like ngilele abantu babona umzimba nje olele kodwa mina angekho shuthi uma usebenza ku-spiritual.
Spiritual. Well, uma ulele kuba ngathi konto ehluthukayo uma nje angazi yazi ngaqalekisa ngani le nto bese mhlawumbe konto eyibekayo ezobamba la idonse kanje ngeke ubuhlungu idonse kanje so kuba into kanjalo-ke spirit nje siyasuka ubone umzimba wamoya ushiya lona osenyameni osemhlabeni unyuma kanje hamba uzofika uhambe wasikhathi eside uzofika ufika endaweni esiqini hambe nesontweni vele senilindini hambe leli sonto elikhulu ney'thembiso nje ey'gcinayo lapha namagazi impongo yakhona mabayigcwale for umsebenzi
kahle inhloso efezwa lapho ukugcwalisa le mpongolo
ngoba uma ungagcwela babayi ayikunzima ubuyele enyameni ukuhlungu baba inyama yakho iba kuhlungu loyishiye emhlabeni masubuyela kuyona
yile niyigcwalisa le mpongolo
kufuneka lona phela igazi ngabe zingozi ngabe negenye amabhelidi ezonge zizolimala umuntu favorite
igazi lakho liyangena
igazi lakho liyangena ngendlela esimanga kuyena and futhi landoda ngoba ngisho ukuthi ucela noma ngabe yini oyifunayo uyasho nje mina baba isimo ngimbuza ukuthi ngiphuma kanjani kule nto
yes
nginodadewethu mina nginazo iy'ngane
okay
nginodadewethu endlela iy'ngane zakhe ngiyithanda ngakhona ngiyayithanda lezi ngane zothu ukuthi umama kuba kuhlungu manje wona kuthiwa ngiyasebenza noma imali nginayo lezi ngane mfethu ngiyithanda ngendlela esimanga usathanda mfethu ukubheka la umuntu uyawazi baba ucubungula inhliziyo yakho ayibeke ogqokweni thatha umese isike abheke ukuthi ithandani yabo kwathiwa mfethu no basho ukuthi mfethu nosimanje wakho usuphelile manje you have to earn more uyasuka imiliyoni manje uya kwibhiliyoni unqala kwibhiliyoni imali ufuna ingene kuyena amabhiliyoni kuyale ufuna ingeniswe igaraji uyanoyijajelayo uyajajela lapho uyatshela umthetho hayi bentshetshe kunengane ezothuza kini siyayithanda yazi
vele bayibona
siyayithanda yazi siyithanda njengalokhu uyithanda nawe angithi mina ngiyezwa kuthiwa sayifuna lezo ngane baba make sure ukuthi akuphesa singakanani mayelethile la hayi futhi ngitshela le nto yangihlukumeza emoyeni wami ngisho sengisenyameni kanje yangihlukumeza emoyeni wami thina ngoba ngisho lesisindisiwe tshela baba ukuthi ngase nginazo-ke iy'ncwadi kakhulu athatha imoto angamtshela lo mfana athatha imoto ngahamba ngayo esontweni ngamwela back evillage emakhaya la ngisuka khona suka la ebhaleni hamba ngaya khona ngoba ngisho ukuthi yabona le nto mfethu uma usuphumile kuyona azi ukuba yizeleze la bantu bayakwazi baba ukuthi bethathe yonke into onayo thathe yonke into onayo ungasali nalutho yabona ayingihamba ngalo umfundisi umfundisi uhlangana kanje nayo ube inkinga zakho umfundisi ushadisana manje bamfundisi uyangazi nginganayo ekhaya kwakunzima khona mfethu yazi le nto iyamelana nomthandazo lo muntu futhi okholwayo
Why settle for $6.99 burgers when you can pick 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each from Domino's?
ekunzima mfethu yazi ukuthi ngiyangena ngingangeneki vele kubuhlungu ekhaya dume lezinto lezi ozenzayo lemkhathini zidume dume lezinto zidume izinto ozenzayo lezi zidume ucunimize mfethu ngisho ukuthi emoto engcono mfethu ucunimize ethi umfundisi nabambele kunabantu bababo la yindawo kanje nje nawe unendawo kanje alo ngibambe ngifake phakathi alo baba bethu strong ngendlela esimanga hayi ngithandazela hayi ngikhuluma nje ngikule nto yabona ngithandazele abazi-ke abafundisi bamanje ukuthi banjani abanye banezinto nje imilingo abenza ngayo yabo nabo abanye bakhona njalo kule nto le abanye bakhona engengibamenshini ikhona la ifike ngaphuma kule nto ungakayitholi-ke iclarity ukuthi umfundisi mfowethu okule nto uthandaza kanjani ngoba phela labantu futhi abasuke ngale ku-altar abekho kule nto umfundisi kule nto le. So le nto ayibheka masithi igama lajesu sithandazane ayibheka abhini lumuntu kule nto because abafundisi futhi bakule nto ibandla linikela ngendlela esimanga ngendlela
This week on the 77% Street Debate.
Sex and money started way back. Even if you go to the Bible, it's the first profession.
Even as a lady, I cannot date without money. I need to get my hair right. I need to do my lashes.
What happened to invite me out? Let's go to Park, let's chill, let's connect. If the sex comes after, well and good, we are fine.
One day she's going to find someone. And she likes them, but then he doesn't reach my caliber, so she'll always be nagging to this person. I love you, I want you to be better.
Then dump me. Just leave me alone. I don't want to nag you either. Who wants to be a nagging human being?
In her 1986 single, Gwen Guthrie popularized the expression "no romance with no finance." But in 2025, we're asking a rather similar question. What about sex? Can that exist without money? And if not, who pays the pleasure bill? Who better to answer this question for me than some lovely Kenyans here in the capital? How many of you believe that sex and money can exist separately? Do you believe that it can exist separately? Let me see. Oh, so you do think that? All right. So Achiba, you don't think so?
Okay, I'm Achibela. I'm a sex worker. I've been in sex work for the last 16 years. As a sex worker, I earn through sex, and I've been earning through sex. I pay all my bills with sex. But it's not that I don't enjoy sex. Sometimes I can go with a client and I feel that she is doing better, so he can just be like a friend and like a boyfriend.
Yeah, okay. So Achibela here making it a very clear thing, but you raised your hand saying that you think there's a separation between sex and money.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I feel like sex is so special, it's intimate, it's actually spiritual. And I think that when you start connecting sex and money and they have to coexist, I think it introduces people to commodities. It makes people feel like a product. It's like if you have money, you have power over this person. And I feel like that demeans the whole purpose of it, because I believe that sex was introduced by God for a reason. So I feel like if we tone it down to this level, we make it lose its value.
Mukabana, you already want to speak to me?
Because I'm already annoyed. So I feel like, yes, sex is special and intimate, but if we are to even still look at it from the biblical point of view, provision is important in order to create that intimate bond that creates family, that eventually creates community. So without including resources in order to build that community, how do we begin? And it starts with a nice bed to sleep on. Okay, yeah, and a nice bed to sleep on is expensive.
Alright, hold on. Achibela already wants to. I haven't even asked a question. Okay.
About sex being special. Yes, it is special. Even as we know, in our houses, in our homes, if our father don't have money, you know the kind of home it will be. You see, even our mother depends on our fathers. So it's all about sex. You can't have sex with someone when you're hungry. You can't have and you have to get money to buy food.
All right. You wanted to respond to what Mukabana said before I asked my first question.
I agree that provision has to be there, but I think provision can be in so many contexts. So if for example, because as a believer, sex ought to occur between a husband and a wife, the husband can provide, but it doesn't necessarily mean he has to provide money. He can provide care, love, can provide protection. It's interesting because nowadays you'll find a lady having a very high-end job and the guy is a good guy but can't match up with their salary. It doesn't mean that now they can't live together. I feel like money needs to be removed from that equation and boil it down to, do they love each other, or are they together, are they married? And that's the context we need to look at sex
Okay,
as.
so a very romanticized view, I would say, of, having emotions at the forefront, compassion, and that's what sort of steers everything. But is it realistic, Kenya, to assume that you can actually have intimate relations without resources, as Mukabana said?
It's next to impossible. Let's start from that. Honest to God, every single aspect of life revolves around money. Because even if I want to show that gesture, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to take babe out. I need to make a gesture. I need to, like, even low budget, 100 bob. 100 bob. You know, skuma, nyama, mayai. Oh, sorry. I'll buy some eggs, maybe. Put them in a heart shape. I'll need to buy maybe some sugar, maybe a packet of tea, and then we go out, have a nice picnic. I've shown my gesture with 100 bob, regardless whether I wanted the sex or not, which I did. I'll still have to remove money from my pocket to show that gesture, to start that process.
Okay, Emanuela, you're smiling here. I wonder if you agree with these proclamations so far. You're fairly young, right? In your 20s. Is that how people your age mates think?
Okay, you need money because actually it's in the middle of everything. There's no way you can even date someone without money.
Okay, so Emanuela says you can't even date without money. Agreed or disagreed? Agree. Oh, agreed.
Even as a lady, I cannot date without money. I need to get my hair right. I need to do my lashes. And this is the first day before I can be like, babe, where's the M-Pesa? If I am a respectable young woman, I have to present myself that I am capable to be amongst somebody, be with somebody who is capable of handling that kind of financial power. So it takes money regardless of who you are.
Let me ask Shanta here, because she raised her hand, and you see her covered up like this because she's in a very secretive and small community of the BDSM guys. She's going to be telling us more about that. But you raised your hand when I asked, can people date without money? And you said no.
For me, I cannot be with somebody who does not invest in me financially. Invest in my business, invest in my work, invest in my well-being. Because I'm like, what are we doing then? Like, I'm comfortable right now as I am. I'd rather be single than be with somebody who cannot invest in me financially.
I like what you've said. The language you're using. You'd rather be single than be with somebody who won't invest in you financially. So let me come back to Achibella real quick before I come to you, Brian. Then what is the difference between having sex for money and having sex perhaps with the hopes of getting a job, a favor, or some other kind of benefit?
In sex work, the different type of sex work, yeah? We can have sex work, you pay me, you give me gift. Sex work is exchanging sex with gift, money, or present, things like those ones. So even if I'm going to give you sex, I'm going to have with you sex so that you can give me a job. That is sex.
As an owner of Walton Goggins goggle glasses, I know how to make slick-looking goggle/glasses, but I have no idea.
That is sex work. Sex and money started way back. Even if you go to the Bible, it's the first profession. In the Bible, they were sex workers. So when you come and say sex and money can match, they must match.
Okay, let me introduce Brian here. So the dynamics of somebody who's differently abled are very different. So speak to me about sex, pleasure, and money from your lens.
I think in my case, money is a tool, a means to an end for me as a disabled man. Not a lot of money, just enough money to get me to an accessible room, an accessible bed, to help me get to bed, to help me get the medication that I need to get the job done. I need money to, like you said, take my lady to a nice place, to have a nice meal, and then all the other medical stuff that I need to have fulfilling sex.
So before we even start calculating what are the usual recurring costs of sex, you have to think about many others. And living in a country that's not really designed for people who are differently abled, how do those costs stack up?
Let's say, for instance, I wanted to go to a guest house and I wanted to take my lady there, and they would really question, why is this man on a wheelchair seeking our services? What business does he have here? Because they are not used, or they do not even fathom the idea that a disabled man could even enjoy sex. The general feeling is that we are asexual, that we don't want sex, but that is contrary, because we are human beings and we just function just normally.
So how does that then play into your ideas of manhood and masculinity? Ben here spoke about provision being a thing that drives him as a man.
I'm very much like Ben. I want to provide, and I want to provide in all ways. I want to provide in the bedroom, and I want to provide outside. So that is a part that I hold very close to my heart and very close to my identity. When I describe myself, I want to be a man that is able to provide for their lady and for them to feel like they're content.
Speaking of provision, I find it interesting that you teach women how to empower themselves financially, and yet you said to me that you would never date a man who earns less than you.
But honestly, I've already done that relationship where I was like, oh, love, the romantic, the Disney version of life, where we are in love, where we are supposed to care about our emotions and our characters more. However, I realized that, especially because right now a lot of women, despite there being more opportunity for women are still more disadvantaged when it comes to financial power. We carry a lot of the burden of bearing life, of emotional labor, as in we are the nurturers, whenever people are in trouble, who do men mostly run to? The women in their lives.
And Ben, so do you agree with this? Because it sounds to me like what Mukabana is describing is pay me for the biological burden that I have to bear.
No, I think as a man you should be cognizant of that fact. You should be cognizant of the fact that maybe when she gets pregnant, she's gonna get the most heat, career-wise, health-wise, body-wise. There's definitely that. And maybe as a man you need to consider maybe just to see how you can make her life a bit better, just by the way you try. But this conversation is always interesting, because I ask myself, then how did our parents do it? We have parents here who are married for 40 years, and when they tell you stories of how they met in the slums, probably. Like I was born in Madari North. It's not like my dad had money or my mom had money. Like money was not the first point of conversation, that do you have money or you don't, because now the men who at some point who get money and spend it on a chick, the mindset that we are fighting is that immediately they want sex in return, and it's like they're owed this sex, and that's the mindset that we've been fighting even in this whole femicide thing. That people need to stop feeling entitled to the other person's money.
All right, let me come to Emanuela here for a second, because we've been speaking very broadly in a heteronormative sense, men and women. But how does it work when there are no men? You know, do we still expect women who are masculine presenting to pay the bill?
For me, yes. But it's not like that for everyone. But for me personally, I expect my woman to take care of me.
Even if your partner in this case is also a woman, and she probably also has the same resources or access to resources as you.
Yes.
So what informs this kind of thinking? Where do you borrow it from?
To be honest, I don't even know. It's just deeply rooted in me. And also when I date people, I also now date people with the same mindset, so that there's no issue.
Don't you think it sets women back? Because then the narratives that Ben is talking about, that women are constantly after money, then keep perpetuating. What do you think about that? Let me ask Mukabana. She has an answer for me.
She's very right. You should really be seeking out people who are willing to, who have the same mindset as you do. Like, so I come to you and I'm like, Edith, hey girl, you look cute. Can we date? I'll pay for the first date. That makes sense to you? You will date me. If that does not make sense to you, you're like, no, I'm the one who's always in charge. And more so, this is how I look at it. Big bank takes little bank. If you have more money than me, it will never be. Will never be me. You're the one who's paying the bills.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're very, very clear on that. Shanta.
It's not that people cannot cannot get sex at their level with whatever money they have, it's that they want better. I think the problem comes in when, especially for men, when they look at somebody and they want them, but they can't afford them. Yet, they don't have a problem not being able to afford rent in certain places.
Okay, so there are a few things that were said here, but I just want to pick up on the first one that you mentioned. That the reason why men are constantly complaining that women want money is because the men always want to date beyond their means. Like, they're dating, they're shooting above their lane. True or false? Let me hear from some men. True or false? Oh, only the women are raising their hands, okay. Yeah?
I think most of the men who tell women to stop going after money are the ones who don't have it. I mean, if you look at me and you think you can't afford me, then just walk away.
So say the man is able to afford you. What does that mean?
It means you should be able to give me double of what I can give myself.
The standards out here. Okay, can I get some more views from the man, please? Yeah?
Give me double of what I can get myself. Very simple. Everyone should afford themselves. And don't be entitled to someone's money. I was not born to provide for you. I'm just doing a favor when I do that, because sometimes you put very high standards that even your own father can't afford. And then you are expecting another man to do that for you, instead of you working and do for yourself. So the very simple thing is, if you want to afford like a billionaire's life, you work hard to be that billionaire, whether a woman or a man.
Okay, so you're saying everybody must mind their own person. I know that they're itchy fingers here, but let me go to read again for a second.
Yeah, I completely agree with what Cheki said, because she started she started by saying that I need money to make my hair get complete makeover so that I attract someone. But why are you giving this other person pressure to afford you when these are things that you're supposed to be doing for yourself to make yourself feel good? You say that when you go on a date with a mask-presenting person that you expect them to pay. I will only pay if I invite you out on this date, because again, life is hard. Everyone needs to be able to carry their own burden. And you, sorry, and you need 100 bob to like buy skuma ugali and carrots for this person to come so that you have sex with them. What happened to invite me out on a date? Let's go to Uhuru Park. Groundnuts are like 5 bob or 10 bob. Let's chill, let's connect. If the sex comes after, well and good, we are fine.
So there are three yous have been mentioned here. Let's start with the first you. So why not just come up with the money for your own hair, your lashes? You look very beautiful.
I did not say that the person that I'm going to date is the one who needs to provide that. I said that even I, as a girl in Nairobi, just a young girl, is I can't date without having some kind of resource to put myself together. Just that. And I'm not pressuring anyone to afford me. I'm saying that I want to present myself to the standard and caliber of the kind of person I want to attract. Once I attract that person, I mean like we are shoulder to shoulder in terms of resources, and hopefully they're a little higher. I can lean on a little bicep, you know what I mean, right? But without that money, I know I will become a naggy, like I will be so annoyed. You don't want me near you when I'm hungry, please.
So let me come back to you, who Kenya, because you were asked a very simple question. Yeah. What happened to connection? Does it all have to go back to this money thing?
Okay, like she said, even if we go to Uhuru Park and buy some jugus, it will still require the same 100 bob. It's just that it has been put into better use. You see, the connection must be there. If you are, in her example, she's always expecting that she's going to meet someone that's always higher than her. One day she's going to find someone and she likes them. I love him the way he is. Maybe it's the sex appeal.Maybe it's the way he looks. I like him. But then he doesn't reach my caliber. So she'll always be nagging to this person. I love you. I want you to be better. This person is like, me, I'm just here. Try to be.
Me, I'm just here.
Dump me. Just leave me alone. I don't want to nag you either. Who wants to be a nagging human being? What I'm saying is, if we notice, even though we love each other, the heart does want what it wants. But if we all notice that anyway over here we are not matching up, not everything is aligned, because we have to be matched up sexually, spiritually, financially, principle wise. We have to be matched up, compatible.
But let me get a comment from Brian here, because we've heard about financial incompatibilities when it comes to relationships, right? But sometimes you start a relationship and you're on an equal footing and something happens and you lose the finances. What happens? What's to happen in that situation? Does money affect desire?
Whether you're a professional or just love getting hands-on with your home projects.
Affect desire.
You have heard everyone say money is very important because people have bills to pay. And what I'm feeling from the panel here is that most people are in relationships with the wrong people. I think they should find people that are more compatible with them. And if you want someone who is a provider, then look for someone who has those qualities. If you want someone who is a nurturer, go for those. So the problem is that you're looking for a provider in someone who is just trying to build at that time.
But in this society, do we speak enough about these things, especially at the onset of relationships or relations, or do we just assume that this is how the world works?
I think as relationships start, there's a lot of facade, and people like to lie to each other in the beginning of relationships. And I think that is one of the biggest problems, because you present as something that you are not.
Bella, let me get your comment on that. We are liars and we want to be hard on our partners. True or false?
I think it's true.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you see how relationships, how people get divorced. People lie to people. You come and lie to a girl that you have a Benz, you have what, and you have nothing. Let me come to whatever Shaky said. You know, Shaky is the stingy man that they don't need to promote women, but they come to us to buy sex.
Okay, let me give him a chance to respond, please.
When I'm dating you, I'm your partner, not you. I'm not you. So as a partner, I'm not there to take care of 100% of your needs. I'm just there to support.
But this is what is making Achibella here say that you're stingy. What do you say to that?
No, that's not being stingy. That's making someone carry their own burden.
You